Hello, and welcome to the Black Dimension. You have been pulled in. I'm Kev Rogers here, and we are here to discuss the controversial, yet again controversial, Netflix comedy special by Dave Chappelle, The Closer. What's going on, Roger?
What's happening? What's happening?
That man, shoot, just about to discuss this special. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. After Sticks and Stones, I didn't think I thought that probably would be Dave Chappelle's best one, and although he's pretty good from special to special, I didn't see how he could have topped Sticks and Stones. But he came with it on the closer. Like seriously, like came with it. Like it was once again very impressive, and it had a lot of underlying messages in it, and it caused a lot of controversy, just like Sticks and Stones did. Except for this time, there were calls to boycott it and remove it from Netflix. Now, to this date, Netflix has pretty much said, no, we are not pulling the special from our platform. And, basically to say that you guys can go suck it. Even so, like, there were employees that have been fired for protesting the special itself. Now, I will say this about companies and employment. Uh, they do make you sign clauses that say that you cannot speak out against the company itself publicly, or you can lose your job. Now, maybe Netflix had a policy that was just like that, so that would probably explain the firing. But upon watching this special, I could say this: um, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me, and I mean, even if like even if that is to people will view that as a lack of empathy for other communities. The thing that I have to say about that is, I think that a lot of people are just overreacting. They're reading social media posts and articles instead of watching the special for themselves. Because the main thing was that it was the LGBT community, especially the T's, who were really mad with this special. And one thing that I feel that people who viewed it and took it that way didn't realize the underlying message that he was actually defending the community.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the way we hear things determine how we'll, kind of spin with it a little bit. But I didn't take it that there was anything for them to be mad about, really. Anyway, um, the LGBTQ community wants to be looked at as, people that's everyday. They want to be viewed as everybody else. They want to be viewed as normal. Okay. Now, everybody has to make that personal decision for themselves of will we view them as normal? But I do know they want to be viewed as normal based on the impression that they give me. So if you want to be viewed as normal, you gotta be able to take some jokes too. Um, Jokes are black folks tell jokes about black folks, white folks, Arab folks, Mexican folks, Hispanic folks, I should say. You know, I've seen white comedians talk about white folks, black folks, Arab folks. You know, eh, I mean, basically, I see different comedians talk about their own people and other people. So at the end of the day, um, if you want to be seen as normal, not saying that people should or shouldn't, but I'm saying if you want to be seen as normal, if everybody else getting talked about, you're gonna get talked about too. Just is what it is. It's even the presidents get talked about, and they that's the quote unquote head of the country, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And like the one message for real that shined through this special was that he said that he was, you know, jealous of the success of the LGBT community because of the challenges that we still face as blacks. Now, do you think that's something that could have made them upset, or try to use this whole phobic thing as a deflection from what he was actually trying to say? But because his friend, by the way, his trans friend, by the name of Daphne Dorman. Like he talked about her extensively and how he gave her gave them a shot at gave them a shot at being a comedian, and she came out after Sticks and Stones to defend Dave on Twitter when he was being attacked by the Twitter mob. And they attacked her, and the Twitter mob in this case were full of tea people. And 6 days later, she killed herself. So I made the point. Now, if this had been any other group of people, and there's somebody, then somebody got bullied and then killed themselves, and they'd have made a big issue of it. But and this was a tea person, somebody they say that they're crusading for, and she ends up killing herself after getting dragged on Twitter. Why isn't this a big issue? And this is exactly what Dave Chappelle is talking about. It seems like that the alphabet community gets treated very, very special with preferential treatment as opposed to the black community. Like one point that he does bring up is well, when he was talking about the rapper the baby. He said the baby, actually shot and killed a dude inside of a Walmart in North Carolina. And his career took off. He had a very successful career. But then when as soon as he say something about the alphabet people, then it's just too much. It's not okay anymore. Ostracize the man, kill his career. And a lot of people, when he said he was coming out to actually defend the baby, a lot of people took it as, oh man, you ain't helped the baby at all. I don't think it was really meant to help the baby. It was just meant to point out the fact that he did something way more extreme and he got a pass for it. You know.
I think him pointing that out is going to help the baby indirectly anyway. But it was a very good point, and I can understand him saying that he a little bit jealous of the LGBTQ community as far as the progress they have seen to make, that seem to have been able to make in a much shorter period of time. Because as black folks, we've been having problems over here since what 1619. So, and then the LGBT community or LGBTQ, they're not that big when you start looking at numbers, but they do get great representation. People don't want to say nothing about them, or nothing that's off, because people are worried about getting canceled. You got this whole culture where people are saying they woke, and you got to see them a certain way. Man, we not talking about that many people. Many people. I don't know exactly how many there are, but I would estimate that whole community is probably. I honestly don't believe it's 1% of Americans. I really don't believe it is. But let's say I'm wrong, and maybe it's 3%. You know, they got a lot of weight for to be such a small group. And then if you talk about the trans part of that group, I mean, well, what's their percentage? 0.05? Like they get a lot of respect to be such a small group. So my thing is they should stop tripping. You know what I'm saying? If Dave was telling like vicious and malicious jokes toward them, I get it. But he just cracking jokes about things that he observes in society, which he been doing that his whole career. So he ain't being malicious toward them in any kind of way. So they being, you know what I'm saying? I think that they're being a little sensitive. I've seen comedians that were LGBTQ, and they talk about straight people. So what's the big deal? If you talking about straight people, can't one straight guy say something about y'all? It's not that big a deal.
No, because then they'll start talking about they how they would ridicule his children, how what they went through, and I'm not trying to do an all lives matter on this, but I can tell you as a kid that was under 5 feet for most of his grammar school career, under 100 pounds. I can tell you, you get a lot of ridicule that way, but it did not make me hate tall people. or no, or it did not make me want to seek an apology from everyone who ever told a joke. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I mean, you bring up some a good point. But when I was in grammar school, there was like I remember one kid who we suspected would end up being gay if he hadn't already accepted that's what he was. I remember one kid like that. People made fun of him sometimes, but people make fun of all the heterosexual people too. So that whole thing about I was teased, who wasn't teased? You know what I'm saying? Now it'd be one thing if they're saying that LGBTQ was getting teased and nobody else was, but from my memory, I saw plenty of kids getting teased. I saw way more straight people getting teased than LGBTQ people getting teased because I didn't see them like that. That they just wasn't around like that. So I saw a whole lot of straight people getting teased, and it was happening to them every day. So again, sometimes you know what I'm saying, people can be overly sensitive, and you know, sometimes it's not a smart idea to compare what you got going on with everybody else or act like it's not happening to other people. If they were singled out, it would be different. But I mean, who wasn't teased as kids? That's what kids do. May not be right. People may think it's bad that kids tease kids, but that is what kids do, regardless of your feelings about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you look at the screen, it's the headline. Oh, darn. Uh, Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you look at the headline right here, it says Netflix standing by Dave Chappelle and the closer. Basically saying, all these calls to, and fair use, by the way, fair use, fair use, fair use. All these calls, and I hate these ads. All these calls to uh, cancel to pull the special has been rejected by Netflix. And if Netflix, is smart, which they are not going to ever pull Dave Chappelle special because it's keeping the lifeblood inside of Netflix, especially after some of these little dunders and blunders that they've had. And one of those blunders I can name is the movie Cuties.
Okay, well, they paid Dave Chappelle, to my understanding, 60 million for three specials. If I give a man $20 million for a special, I'm not gonna pull the special. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking as an exec. You know what I'm saying? If I was in an executive position at Netflix, we gave the man 20 million for a special. Why would I pull his special if he's doing numbers? There's no reason to pull his special if he's doing numbers. He didn't make malicious or vicious jokes toward anyone, so therefore there's no reason to pull it. If he was doing something that was extremely mean spirited, or he went out of his way to make a certain group of people feel bad, I could understand. He didn't do any of that with his jokes. Yeah, and we know somebody being mean spirited or trying to embarrass a certain group or something like that. We know when something is malicious. We didn't get malicious jokes from him. So why would I pull the special with a guy who's doing numbers and nothing malicious was said? At some point in time, you have to accept to be viewed as normal. People get to crack a joke on you. Just is what it is. If again, if we gonna crack jokes on the president of the United States, what makes you think you so special that can't nobody say nothing about you?
It's just this whole I can say what I want to say about you, but if you say something back to me, then I'm gonna play victim. I'm gonna be the big victim. And then it is nothing you can say about it. I don't care. Like it's like he said in Sticks and Stones. I don't care how many years it is from now. I'm gonna hunt you down and I'm gonna look up stuff you said and I'm gonna ruin your life and I'm gonna get you fired. And it's just like it's. Let's
Well,
see.
I'm just gonna say if a certain group of people feel like everybody else can have jokes made about them, but this one group of people say that can't nobody make a joke about them, then that group of people has a superiority complex. That's what that sounds like to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what it sounds like to me. if I can crack jokes on everybody in the home, let's say it's 20 people that live in the home for whatever reason, you got 20 people that live in the home. If everybody can be talked about, but one or two people in that home, them two people seem to be superior to everybody else. So that's the message that's given. And as a black man, I'm not finna accept a message that some group of people is superior to me. I'm not finna accept that message. Just ain't gonna do it. You know, if they want to be normal like everybody else, quote unquote, if that's what they say they fighting for, then guess what? Everybody else getting jokes cracked on them. It's just your turn.
And I mean it, and this is something I used to say all the time. Is like, why are you seeking to be special when you say you want equality and normalcy? Now, if you want equality and normalcy, you'll take them jokes just like everybody else. But let me move on to this. Let me put some on the screen for you real quick. Okay. So this person got a little attention, and damn it, why these ads? This ad just popped up out of nowhere. Come on now.
Yeah, we ain't worried about no ass. Don't show the ass. We wait till that's over with.
Yeah. Hold on, let me stop sharing this because I don't know. I think that they trying to stop me from showing this. So
Now it ain't showing yet. It ain't showing yet.
yeah,
But
but the show. What I was about to talk about was the showrunner of Dear White People, Jacqueline Moore. She's boycotting Netflix, saying she will not work for the streaming service until they take down Dave Chappelle's Netflix special. And
oh, they should just get a replacement then.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would love to be showrunners for Netflix. They're just dying for an opportunity to prove themselves. But yeah, I googled the image. Jacqueline Moore is the showrunner for Dear White People. Now look, um, Dear White People is a show that has a premise of the modern day black community and black people who represent the culture, uh, addressing white people on the things that they don't understand that affect black people. Now, this person, now what's taking everybody aback is how you gonna run a show basically with black people addressing their concerns with white people and their insensitivity toward race, and then you got this person right here running the show. Now, Dear White People, now I gotta say, is not a show that I really got into per se, because like I watched the movie itself, but then like I didn't like a lot of things about the movie as well. A lot of the social messages that they put in the film, I didn't really feel like aligned with what we were supposed to be telling white people for real if we want to address them. All it basically
What?
was inward.
What?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Well, Kev, you still got Chappelle on screen. You said you're trying to show something, but you still got Chappelle on screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oops. Overlay.
Yeah, but now you bringing up something serious here. So basically, what you saying? There's a TV show that's supposed to be about black people addressing white folks about insensitivity that they've had toward black people, but the show is being ran by a white person. That ain't making sense to me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I
but
mean,
I mean, that's
even
not making
it.
sense when you put that next to I'm going to quit if they don't take down Dave Chappelle special. Lady, you don't need to be in your position anyway. If that's what's going on, yeah, you're not getting this.
No. And then this person right here is like, why are you so angry and upset when Dave Chappelle basically did a raw ass form of Dear White People on his special? Like, this is what's getting to me about this is like he said so much shit about race, but the reason why they focusing on the other shit because they don't want to visit what he said about race. Like, he
Yeah,
asked this, and I believe the question that triggered a lot of them was he asked this question during the special: can a gay person be racist? Then the answer is
brother.
hell yeah.
If it wasn't you telling me this, I wouldn't even believe this is real. You telling me a white person is running a show about black people addressing grievances with white people based on treatment, but the same white person is so upset that Dave Chappelle made some jokes about the LGBTQ
And they
community
weren't and they
that
weren't
wasn't even
malicious
vicious
jokes.
jokes.
They weren't vicious jokes.
This
It
don't
wasn't like
even.
he was. Go ahead.
I'm in total agreement with you. Yeah, it wasn't even malicious jokes. This don't even sound real. This is I don't know what stance she's trying to take, but lady, this a dumb stance. If you hear this, this was a dumb stance. You know,
Let me tell you something.
your stance makes no sense.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these Twitter warriors, they have gotten so bold, and because they feel like that they belong to certain special interest groups, that they feel and believe they can tell black people how to feel about racism and social issues. I mean, it's like these little frail dudes that write these comic books, and when they write black male characters, there's never anything masculine about them. They're always soft, they're always weak, docile, and alphabet. So this is the kind of person I view him as. It's like I would tell a person like this, we don't need you. We don't. We don't need your input. We got this. Don't tell us how to feel. Period. You don't even know how to feel about yourself. So why the hell you telling us how we should feel? So
Okay, well, I wanted to say too, because I don't want to just say that her stance is dumb and then don't say nothing else about it, because people be like, well, you just hitting her with ad hominem. But but what I was also gonna say is the reason her stance doesn't make sense is because she's running a show. So basically, she has some form of direction on what black people can say, what's going to be aired. You know what I'm saying? She has some control over what will be aired on what black people's grievances is with white people. So basically, she's trying to control the image of how black people should relay a grievance toward white folks or explain their grievance toward white folks. She has some type of control over that because she's a showrunner. And if
mm.
you take that position as a white person, that doesn't make sense when you say Dave Chappelle's show should come down or I'm gonna quit. Because I would have to assume that maybe she's LGBTQ herself, or she's a sympathizer with their community, which is fine. But it doesn't make sense if that's literally your job to be a showrunner for a show
Hey,
about
hey,
black people addressing white folks.
let me tell you right now that person is a T person.
It
So
still don't make sense because of
yeah,
what her
I
job
get it.
is.
I get it. I get it. I just want to make it clear that you knew, you know, before we, so like, and my point in saying that is these are the people who feel like they can tell black people how to feel about race and racism, and that shit is stupid to me. So
Well, I mean, my thing is, I can that just gives me an idea of why she's upset about the special, because she's gonna play that. Well, I'm a T person, so therefore I'm offended. Lady, what sense do you make? You know what I'm saying? Saying you offended because Dave Chappelle cracked some jokes about people in your community, but you're telling black people how they can express themselves to white people with their grievances about white people, and you're white. That that's bro. If you didn't tell me this information, I wouldn't even believe that was real. That's a level of stupidity in there that I can't even explain. That makes zero sense. You know what? I'm glad she stepped down. I'm gonna leave it at that. You didn't need that job anyway. They need to put a black person. They need to put a black person in her position if she feels so much about this Dave Chappelle special that she got to step down. You need a black person in your position. You shouldn't have had it then. If you're gonna be that way across the board.
yeah, yeah, but a lot of that time he took a couple shots at feminists too. Like he kind of hit like he kind of hit a lot of people where it hurt, like right in the emotions and the feelings. But it had a point. You know, sometimes you gotta laugh at yourself, and you can't be sensitive to what everyone says. You know, especially with the position that black people are still in this country.
Man, truth be told, I don't know what group of people in this country haven't had jokes cracked on them by comedians, but I can't actually say outside the LGBTQ community, I don't know of any comedians other than Dave Chappelle really making too much fun of them. Now I can say that I've heard a no. Can I actually say I heard a comedian make a joke about one of those folks? I got to hold on now. I can't even say in my mental Rolodex that I've seen that ever that anybody cracked a joke on them besides Dave Chappelle. No, matter of fact, I have seen one or two people crack a jokes about like a brother who was gay, something like that. Um, but that's extremely rare. So I don't know what's going on, but it seemed like somebody trying to tell me they superior to me, and I'm not gonna accept that message. If everybody else can get jokes cracked on them, so can you. Welcome to society. That's what you want. You want to be viewed as normal, right? Well, this come with normality. Jokes.
All right, so all right, one more thing I wanted to mention. Dave Chappelle is like, not only can you not cancel him, and we won't allow him to be canceled, he's uncancelable. Basically, if that's a word, he can't be canceled. He's pretty much done what he's going to do throughout his comedic career, and you know, he got his money. $60 million is coincidentally, um, and I think he mentioned he walked away from 50 million at Comedy Central. You know, it's about a $10 million difference, but nice recovery. Dave Chappelle, like Kyrie Irving, is a stand-up guy. You know, he will stand up for what he believes in, and he believes in the art of comedy. And you know, he should have a right, just like anybody else, to say he's sick and tired of being sick and tired. So it's sad to see that he did say that this was his last special, at least for a while. And you know, it's sad for me to see him go for a little while. But see, we always got those. We got his other two specials, which is Sticks and Stones and something equanimity. Like it's equanimity and something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch Equanimity, and we can come back here and talk about Equanimity. But the Sticks and Stones and the closer was the one that got the really big pop. And what Dave Chappelle really embodied was the original spirit of the stand-up comedian. Not before they started getting policed by safe space college students and woke Twitter SJWs. Yeah, he represents the last of a dying breed. You know, and that's go along with comedians like Cat Williams, who is still out there, Kevin Hart, who's still out there, and I've said my things about Kevin Hart. I don't think that he is as funny as he used to be, but he's still a comedian out there. And also, and let me, and remember such people as Patrice O'Neal, who actually worked with Dave Chappelle on Chappelle's show. You know, and maybe the last guy that probably says some real shit for real is Bill Burr, who has also worked with Dave Chappelle. So uh, this man right here has been very important to stand up comedy. And you know, I wish there were more like him, but I don't think that a lot of these guys like out here right now really have the potency and the power of Dave Chappelle because of what he's been through in his career, the setbacks and the upswings. I mean, I will tell you, one of my favorite movies of all time is Half Baked, and Half Baked didn't even turn out the way Dave Chappelle wanted it to turn out, but it still is a cult classic because that's how talented that man is. Dave Chappelle is a fucking genius, and I'm saying thank you for the closer.
Well, Dave Chappelle is the goat in my book, and he's just funnier than other people at the end of the day. But Dave Chappelle can take his break, but whenever he come back with the next special, I'm already signed up to watch it. Whatever his next special is, I guarantee you I'll be watching it. If I'm alive, I'll be watching his next special. It's
Yeah,
just it's that simple to me.
yeah, and I mean, he's been known to improv too. When he did that little short special, 8 minutes 46 seconds, 8:46. So he might do some stuff like that too. Whenever something bad, whenever something major happens in our culture, in our society. So, if we could use our regular Black Dimension ratings, which we don't really use for streaming services or whatever, buy, bootleg, or bum, this is definitely a buy many times over. This is a special that you can probably watch a few times and still have the same reaction, still laugh the same way, just as hard. Or I mean, or you might catch something that you didn't catch when you watched it the first couple times. It's just that kind of special. So, like once again, thank you, Dave Chappelle.
And you know what? I'm just gonna say to close it out one more time. Dave is the GOAT. You crazy if you think I ain't watching him. And that's it. Netflix, you made a good decision. Yeah, suspend or fire anybody who got a problem with Dave Chappelle's special is a very is the right move for you to make. If they work for you and they publicly got a problem with Dave Chappelle's special, you making the right moves. Sometimes folks just got to choose to be smart. Why are you talking down on the company you work for in a public fashion? That don't make a whole lot of sense. Just in general, it just don't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, man, they done paid the man $60 million. He getting the views. He is the GOAT. You never know when people gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying? Man, play it because I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna rewatch it and I'm gonna rewatch it again. It's that simple. That's what I'm gonna say. Close now.
Okay, so definitely, if you haven't yet, and you've watched this entire video, which we probably gave a lot of stuff away if you have, uh, definitely go check out Dave Chappelle, the closer, and his two other Netflix specials are still up: the Equanimity and Sticks and Stones, which are also at least I know one of them a great special. I'll watch the other one, and like I said, I'll come back and talk about that special as well, and give a bit more comprehensive breakdown on that one. So, but check them out as well. So, okay, on behalf of Roger, this is Kev. You've been pulled into the Black Dimension. Hopefully, you can find your way out. See you next time.